In my family, you were allowed to take the train into New York City alone when you had achieved the age of 12. Because you had reached the age of reason and responsibility, you were responsible for buying your own ticket and for getting yourself to and from the train station. All year long, I waited anxiously to turn 12. And on the autumn afternoon that I did turn 12, I rode my bike through the woods to the train station and bought myself a round-trip ticket. I wanted to say something wry and mature to the ticket seller, but he never even looked at me. And he shoved my ticket across the counter, and then he turned away to abuse a colleague. I folded the ticket carefully, and I put it in my wallet, and I rode home delighted. 2 days later, I stood by the front door, and my mom said, "Be safe." And she handed me 10 dimes with which to make a phone call in case of an emergency. She handed me a sandwich for the train, and she checked that I had a hat and gloves just in case I had to venture into the streets. Although that ought not to be necessary, as you simply go upstairs from Penn Station to Madison Square Garden. You just follow the sporting crowd there. You'll be able to tell who's going to the game because people have been doing this thing for untold millennia. And these are the same people who flooded into the Colosseum for battles between lions and bears. I remember that my mom was brisk and firm, but she knew, and I knew, what a moment this was. And she fidgeted with my jacket collar in a certain way that was unlike her in the normal course of things. I said that I would be alert on the train and follow the signs in the station, and if necessary, I would ask a station agent for assistance. In a real emergency, you find a cop, or failing that, anybody in a uniform, said my mom. Once the game is done, you get to the first train that goes home, and you call us, you tell us which one, and your father will meet you at the station. Please enjoy the experience, but keep your wits about you. You got an extra pair of eyeglasses just in case? Okay, put those in a safe place. I'm trusting you to make good decisions. You use your judgment. I don't think I need to go into details here. Make us proud of your responsible behavior. You need a new winter coat. Jesus, why people pay good money to watch elongated men running up and down some field in bright satin clothing is a total mystery to me. Can't believe you're actually 12 now. A minute ago you were 4, you were talking to birds. Look, don't forget to tell us your return train, okay? You better stop fiddling about and get into the train now. I'm going to assume you have a clean handkerchief. Go. I ran down the street and out through the thin woods and across the highway and got to the train station with 3 minutes left to spare. I could hear the train coming from the east end of the island there. Montauk, Amagansett, Patchogue, Copeg, Massapequa. When the doors opened, I found that the cars were packed with Knicks fans going to the game. I found myself a seat in the corner, and I stared out the window, frightened and thrilled, and somehow feeling a little bit sad for reasons that I couldn't articulate. And all these years later, I think that maybe that was the dividing line between being a boy and being something else on the way to being a man. Our heroic point guard, Walt Frazier, couldn't stop the smooth, efficient, calm, grim, godlike Oscar Robertson, and the Knicks wound up losing by 9. I caught the 10:11 train home, and when the doors opened at our station, there was my dad in his good winter coat and fedora and his gloves. And as we crossed the highway, we held hands for a few seconds, just to be safe. The last time we ever held hands like that. I remember it was crisp and cold there, and there was no one else on the streets at all. As we walked through the thin woods, the leaves and the duff underfoot crackled a little bit from the first frost of that year.